Miss Andrews, if you could please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Why are you so fucking weird?
From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. Over your boyfriend?
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. Shut up. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright.
Looks like somehow everything is swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down, and I'd like to... Anyway. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things... And if you think these 3 things clue, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach us that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? Shit! So, would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes, do you know why Juan chose that event in that hotel for the conference? I think I just said Juan. Because that was when he could do the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard.
And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews?
Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that you didn't know about the press conference? He told me!
Anyway, the important thing.
Here is that your information. This information was not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony if you please.
Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Corrida with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out. The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. That seems false to me, Edgeworth-kun. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Sorry, I'm just messing with the microphone. Why do I keep doing this to myself? And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course. Oh, whoops. Nope, back. But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time.
I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however.
Judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy! You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim in his murder fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
We're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama. Isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence.
Looks like you outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing! Please fix your testimony!
I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Damn it!
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this please add this information to your testimony.
And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the button and costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. I've heard that before too, but why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not. I thought I had her for this time for sure. Is anything to trip her up on? It has to be here. But where and what? Is it from the beginning again? Oh. If you felt that, then why did you agree to this plan in the first place? But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Arngard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Corrida planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Matt and Mr. Arngard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour. Why the fuck not? And please, stop slandering this witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm gonna pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Not like that. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, so this purportedly is Adrian Andrews walking out of the room. We pressed this already, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, we did this. Okay. Oh yeah, hold on. If you felt that, then why did you dress up like him? Damn it! How is it not that? If she felt she had to protect him, why did she put on the costume? Fuck it, I'm too tired. So I guess it would have been this. Okay, that makes sense. This is the victim's autopsy report. Clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
And what does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which means that it was ripped off of the costume. When? After the knife was stabbed. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That checks out. I'm an idiot. After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body.
Order! Order, damn it!
What is the meaning of this, Wright? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it?
Pin the crime on guard. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's a quote. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up by the real killer, of course. Miles Edgeworth. No.
And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Finally. Can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard is... you. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. I choose you! You are Mr. Corrida's killer.
Order! Order, Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge?
Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Oh, Catty Phoenix! Catty Phoenix! Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife carved in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you! Put another one back on. Yes! Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. Are we going through all of this again? The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body, or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own hakama. This is great. Just, how many pairs of those do you have? The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. Oh, goddamn. Why does it look so... Why is it like... They drew her real sexy putting that costume on. That costume is used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time.
That's right.
That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found that she touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of the dead body. Ah! And to top it all off, there is this photo. Man, Phoenix is just like going for it. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Catty Phoenix, Catty Phoenix.
Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. But if it's the crime...
Oh, yes, you are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. It's called pleading the fifth. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What? Ganani? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. Damn it. I can't voice two women at once. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things look bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence?
What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. Oh my god.
Whoa, Nani? Compulsive saving?
Everything you've proven is circumstantial.
Circumstantial?
Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of
Definitive proof.
What have I been doing for the past 2 hours? Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Corrida. Sorry.
Miss Andrews. Did you want to kill Mr. Corrida?
I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. Okay!
But, Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! Fuck off! Fuck off! Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we landed in the worst possible situation. Damn it!
I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess.
Recess?
I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow?
We don't have it tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? Wow, they just outright admitted that the death penalty is a thing. That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya.
But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is...
Oh! It is not impossible for this trial to continue.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true, Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation was something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. I should probably have read that again.
Yes, that is very true, but...
Actually, there's one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. Excuse me. I don't know what it is about Edwards today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. He's neither. He's my ex!
The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please.
And I think that is a good place to end the stream for today. Okay. Man, I was very... I like Miss Andrews, I was also very dazed and confused during this. Because I'm sleep deprived and also sick. But oh well. So, with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that follow button if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to support me, consider hitting that subscribe button, pledging to my Patreon, or tipping via Streamlabs. The appropriate links for which are in the descriptions down below. As always, your viewership is the best way to support me. I will see you guys next week. And don't forget to fuck that like button! Bye!